The quantum entanglement communicator buzzed on Edward's workstation aboard the Kepler station, humanity's first deep space research outpost orbiting Proxima Centauri b. He glanced at the holographic display, expecting another routine maintenance alert. Instead, a message flickered into existence, written in perfect English with an algorithmic precision that made his skin crawl. Congratulations, Edward Chen. You have been selected for Cultural Exchange Program. Romantic encounter. Scheduled, coordinates, transmitted. Attendance, mandatory. Edward's fingers flew across the haptic keyboard, running diagnostic after diagnostic. The message had bypassed every security protocol, every firewall, every quantum encryption layer that protected humanity's most advanced orbital facility. Whoever or whatever sent this possessed technology decades beyond human capability. This has to be a joke, he muttered, but the coordinates were already downloading into his neural implant, burning themselves into his consciousness with uncomfortable permanence. 3 solar cycles later, Edward found himself in the observation deck's private chamber, watching a vessel materialize from what his instruments insisted was empty space. The ship defied conventional physics. Its hull seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, flickering between states of matter like a probability wave that refused to collapse. The airlock hissed open with impossible smoothness. She walked through. Mr. She was humanoid, mostly. Her skin held an iridescent quality, scales so fine they appeared as opalescent freckles catching the starlight. Her eyes were vertical slits of molten gold, and when she moved, Edward could swear he saw the ghost of wings folding against her back. Not physical wings, but something that existed in a dimensional space his human perception could barely register. "You're actually here," she said, her voice carrying harmonic undertones that resonated in frequencies humans shouldn't hear. "I thought the Zixthral were lying." "The who?" "Fourth-dimensional tricksters. They think cross-species matchmaking is peak comedy." Emma's expression twisted into what Edward recognized as embarrassment. Universal across apparently any species capable of it. "They set this up as a prank. My mother, she's the Dragon Princess of the Andromeda Coalition. She's going to incinerate them when she finds out." Edward felt his scientist brain struggling to process. Dragon Princess? You mean that's literal, metaphorical, and literal? It translates poorly. Emma settled into the observation chair, her form adjusting in ways that suggested her biology operated on different physical laws. "My species, the Dracith, evolved from silicon-based megafauna on a world with 16 times Earth's gravity. We manipulate electromagnetic fields instinctively. Your ancestors would have called it magic. We call it evolutionary advantage." Despite everything, the impossibility, the absurdity, the fact that interdimensional pranksters had arranged this, Edward found himself fascinated. "Your ship, it's using some kind of alcubia metric manipulation. But the energy requirements alone should 0-point energy extraction from vacuum fluctuations, stabilized through quantum-locked exotic matter." Emma's golden eyes brightened with what he recognized as intellectual excitement. "You understand frame? Theoretically. We've never had the technology to. I could show you the calculations." They talked for hours. Edward explained humanity's fumbling attempts at interstellar travel, their breakthrough with quantum entanglement communication, the way they'd barely scraped together enough resources to establish this single outpost. Emma described the vast coalition of species spanning 3 galaxies, civilizations millions of years old. The delicate politics of being royalty in an empire built on mutual cooperation rather than conquest. "The Zixthral probably expected us to be horrified by each other," Emma said. Her scales, shifting through a spectrum of colors Edward suspected conveyed emotion. "They feed on awkwardness, embarrassment. It sustains them somehow. We don't fully understand their biology." "Horrified, I mean." Emma studied him with those impossible eyes. "You're endlessly curious. Your species is so young, barely crawled out of your gravity well, but you're already asking the right questions. You see me as a puzzle to solve, not a monster to fear." Her scales flushed a warm copper tone. "I like that. I like you. Edward felt his heart rate spike, his neural implant helpfully informed he was experiencing a 23% increase in oxytocin levels. This is insane. We're different species, different evolutionary origins, different physics, practically. The coalition has 73 member species. Romantic partnerships between different evolutionary lines are common. Biology is adaptable with sufficient technology. Emma leaned forward, and Edward caught a scent like ozone and cinnamon. But that's not what you're really worried about, is it? He wasn't. What terrified him was how natural this felt. How easy, how right. Your mother, Edward said finally. The Dragon Princess. What's she going to think about you liking a human? We're what cavemen compared to the coalition? Emma's laugh resonated through octaves human vocal cords couldn't produce. She'll be delighted, actually. She's been trying to arrange suitable courtships for decades. The problem with neuromortal royalty is that everyone suitable is boring. Her expression softened. She always said I'd know the right person by how they made me think differently. The quantum communicator buzzed again. This time, both their devices lit up simultaneously with a message. Prank successful. Zixtal Collective demands payment for matchmaking services. Emma and Edward exchanged glances. They're going to be insufferable about this. Emma sighed. Let them be, Edward said, surprising himself. Worth it. Emma's scales shifted to radiant gold. I like him, she said, as if confirming it to the universe itself. Somewhere in the fourth dimension, the Zixtral celebrated their most successful prank yet.